So I'm here outside Broadfield Stadium and it is match week 3 in the WSL. I'm back reporting on Brighton women for Sussex World. You can see my match reports and player ratings pieces via that website. But today it's all about the Seagulls taking on the Hammers, both coming off the back of disappointing results. West Ham suffering a 5-1 defeat to the Gunners in that second half after taking the lead. And for Brighton, it was a disappointing 2-1 loss to Manchester City on the road. I feel like they arguably deserved more in that match, especially for their first half display. Dario Vidošić, the manager, just saying they sort of lost their way in that second half and showed an immature performance. Perhaps a quite bold statement from him, but I guess he's just identifying the fact they have quite a young squad. And today it will be another difficult challenge facing the Irons. Of course, they haven't picked up a point yet. Their first game in the WSL was a defeat to Tottenham Hotspur, but it was only a narrow one. And they do have a lot of pace in behind. They love to play out wide, so expect a lot of crosses into the box, which Brighton will have to deal with without their right back, Rachel McLaughlin, who went off injured against Manchester City. Thankfully, Kirby is back for the Seagulls, but unfortunately, Madison Haley is not in the starting lineup. Not sure about that one, but I felt like she did so well against Manchester City, so unfortunate she won't be playing. But the pacey players to watch out for West Ham are their striker, Shakira Martinez. She was prolific last season with 10 goals in 12 WSL appearances. And also Vivian Asseyi on the wing, she loves to come inside. And even Rico Ueki, who loves to pick up the ball and kind of join the forward play to the midfield. So watch out for those three. For Brighton, Michelle Adjeman starts. She's definitely growing in her influence in this Seagulls side, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do today here out at Broadfield Stadium. My prediction for this one is going to be, I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Brighton. So here is an image from the 1 minute silence, which was impeccably observed earlier today at Broadfield Stadium for the passing of Matt Beard. There have been so many tributes from players which have really made me understand just what Matt Beard meant to them all. He was more than a manager, he was a lovely person, generous with his time, and someone who really cared about the growth of the women's game. From managing at grassroots to West Ham, Chelsea, and most memorably Liverpool, where he clinched consecutive WSL titles, Matt Beard has paved the way for the women's game and made history. My thoughts are with all who knew him, and especially his loved ones, at this very difficult time. Just going to ask about Seike. Of course, she was quite influential throughout the match and seemed to threaten a lot on and off the ball. Everything went through her. How pleased were you with her display? Because she doesn't always start for the Albion.
No, really good. Look, for last week, that was more just a tactical idea. So I spoke to her as well before and said, look, you've not done anything wrong. This is the idea. We're also thinking to, if we need someone to come off the bench to impact the game, we probably didn't have that in round 1. So that was sort of the idea in round 2, especially away to City. But again, today, back in, we know her qualities, we know what she can possess. We're still trying to help her as well to improve, to get better, help her decision making with the ball, without the ball. So, and for her, it was a big learning curve last season. First time heading over, new league, learning the language. So it's a lot of factors. So this season, she's more comfortable, but they all still have a lot to learn. So this is the exciting thing that, we can win 4-1, probably not play our best football. First half was good, second half we can be much better. So it's again really, really pleasing that when we have to defend we look solid, and with the ball we just have to tidy up a few little things.
And lastly, just West Ham have got quite high ambitions like yourselves to potentially finish 5th. How pleased are you that you've managed to beat a side by a quite convincing scoreline?
No, look, it's not easy in this league to win by a big margin, because everyone is good on any given day. Everyone can beat everyone. So we know that what we do throughout the week, every moment matters, because if you're off a little bit, and that was probably the second half, we probably came out, we were a little bit off, and that was probably just, we're 2-0 up, we become a little bit tentative, we become a little bit safe, we don't look for the passes that we could see to connect the play. So, we weren't punished today. I thought still we defended well, so we've worked on that as well. So, but it's a good one to give us confidence, and it's never easy to win by that margin in this league because of the difficulty and the quality of the other teams.
How pleased were you with how you all responded? Because at 2-1 it can be a nervy scoreline. Of course, the penalty gets scored. How you guys responded so quickly with another goal? Were you really pleased with the reaction of everyone?
My reaction was probably an exhale and thank goodness, because obviously in those times, like you said, it's nervy. I think before even at half time, I think 2-0 is quite a dangerous dangerous scoreline to have. Obviously, if they score next, then the momentum's with them. But like I said before, thankful we were able to put that to a stop and yeah, get the 3 points.
How pleased were you with Rosa Kafaji? Of course, she's joined from Arsenal and looked superb today, scored and arguably could have had more. What do you think she can give this team going forward?
Yeah, like I said, I think she can give loads. Like, she obviously shown herself today, but she's been showing herself since she's arrived in training. But nobody doubts what anybody in this team can do, because we see it day in, day out. And like I said, whoever plays in that position or any position on the field, we have the utmost confidence in them, because it's just a team full of quality, and honestly it's a team that I'm very grateful to be a part of and learn off each day.
So it's full time here at Broadfield Stadium, and it was a 4-1 win for Brighton over the Irons. I don't think anyone anticipated such a comprehensive victory from Dario Vidošić Seagulls, but it was very thoroughly deserved. The pressing from Brighton was superb throughout, especially in that first half, putting the pressure on. And West Ham didn't really have many opportunities throughout the game. Shakira Martinez was trying to lead the press and trying to create opportunities for West Ham. Of course, she is their prolific striker, but unfortunately couldn't get on the score sheet today. It was only Vivienne Seike who managed to find a consolation for the Hammers from the penalty spot in that second half, but by then it was already 2-0 at half-time to the Seagulls. It was Caitlin Hayes who opened the scoring for Brighton. She is obviously a defender who doesn't typically play in the starting 11 for the side, but she had a very impressive performance today in that back line and scored a header from a Fran Kirby corner kick. Even though Maisie Simmons did hit the bar with one of her long-range strikes, it was then time for Seike to make sure that it was 2-0. The Japanese international linking up with new signing Rosa Kafaji on her full debut for the Albion inside the box. A beautiful 1-2 and then a strike across goal, which could not be stopped by Kinga Shemek on her return in between the sticks for the Irons. And yeah, after 2-0, as I said, a penalty was awarded to West Ham to give them an avenue back into the contest. Chiamaka Nnadozie, the Nigerian keeper, taking out substitute Fionn Morgan. She's a pacey forward. And yeah, it was a penalty for the Hammers, which Vivienne Seike did score, but it wasn't enough, with Brighton soon restoring that 2-goal lead. It was a stunner from Rosa Kafaji, who I think was a standout here today, alongside Seike. I thought those two were absolutely superb on and off the ball. But as I said, Rosa Kafaji unleashing a long-range strike, which made it 3-1. And then from there on, I think it was really a sucker punch for the Hammers. Brighton carried on with their intent. They had multiple chances. Seike hit the post. Rosa Kafaji came close and arguably should have scored. But yeah, in the end, they did extend their lead from 3-1 to 4-1, with Marissa Oleslagers producing another long-range effort. I think those were the stories of this game today. Some great strikes from long range. And yeah, Marissa Oleslagers gets her name on the score sheet after a strong performance from her at full back. I thought Charlize Rule was also excellent, both containing West Ham's pacey forwards that I mentioned before the match. They didn't really have a look in, had to make 3 changes at half-time because of that. Which ultimately got them the penalty, but nothing more. And Rayan Skinner's side will be very disappointed with this start to the season. Of course, we're only 3 games in, but they're still without a win. For Brighton, though, it means a lot, this one, as you can hear from my post-match conferences with Dario Vidošić and Caitlin Hayes. They both won't be getting their feet off the ground, won't be looking too far ahead and thinking this is a momentous win. But in my eyes, it is an early statement of intent from the Seagulls. I mean, West Ham are a very tough opposition, a team who want to try and finish around 5th, just like Brighton. But I think Brighton are on course for great things again under Dario, if they continue this intent that they showed today.